Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ask YP Live Now show. This is a show about positive living, living a well-balanced life. This is about, chasing your passions and being able to spend quality time with your loved one. And it's all also about making the world a better place. So tonight we've got a special guest with us. We've got Dr. Christine Lee. And you know what? She is a Pythonista. What a mouthful. So Dr. Christine Lee, can you tell us a bit more about yourself and what is a Pythonista?
Hi YP, hi everyone. Yeah, YP, thank you for this invitation. So yeah, I've been teaching computer programming for more than 27 years actually, and which is
Wow.
more than half of my lifetime. So I was an associate professor and also the dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Computing at the University College. So currently I'm an online course creator and also a tech advisor. So, as a tech advisor, I'm overseeing the design and development of an online educational platform. So, I also conduct coding classes for kids at the private school. So, the reason why I call myself a Pythonista because I'm really passionate about Python computer programming. So, I hope to share more about it later on. Yeah, thanks.
So how come you got yourself into, from a lecturer to, I suppose, to college students, right? And then go into teaching young people programming. How do you get into the industry?
All right. Yeah, it's a very interesting question. Actually, it's not what, but who got me into wanting to teach
Okay.
programming to kids. Yeah. The person is my son. Yeah. So he,
Okay.
he actually inspired me to teach programming to the kids. So he started learning programming when he was about 9 years old. So I believe that through programming, right, he actually developed like problem solving skills, creativity, and also critical thinking. So as I watched him doing the coding, right, I was really amazed, and I realized that hey, actually, kids can start learning programming at the young age. Yeah, and because of him, I have the opportunity to teach programming to the kids in his school. Yeah.
Okay. So when you first learned programming, how young was he?
Wow, he was about 9 years old. Oh yeah,
Nine
actually,
years old.
I have a very interesting story to share.
Okay.
This happened yesterday during my coding class. So I was teaching the kids right how to create a game. Yeah, and then this one particular kid he's really adorable. So after he has assembled his code, so I asked him to actually run the program and then play his game. So as he played the game, right, he was like so excited, he was like almost like jumping out of from his seat. So wow, so that really inspired me to see this young generation learning a new skill, which is actually an important skill, I would say, in this 21st century. So I was really happy, to see him getting the code working and playing his own game. Yeah.
Okay. So you said picking up a new skill. So what are the real world benefits? Okay. So this is a tricky question. Now, what's the real world benefits for a child, for a young person to learn programming? Yeah.
Yeah, there are actually a lot of benefits. I will highlight three of them. Yeah, three of these benefits. I would say the importance as well in learning coding. So first, right, it's actually to enhance or can say develop their problem solving skills, creativity, and also
Mhm.
the critical thinking, because this will actually help them to have more innovation. Because
Mhm.
earlier on you mentioned about better world, so I believe
Mm.
that through coding, right, they can actually create a better world
Oh,
for
okay.
themselves. So that is one key thing, yeah, to develop all these different life skills, I would say. And then the second thing, right, is that when they program, right, usually they will encounter errors. So errors is that they will need to actually find the errors and then correct them as well. So in that process, they actually develop perseverance, right,
Oh,
and
okay.
grit as
True,
well,
true.
so that
Mm.
they don't give up, when they encounter the
Mm.
errors, but they learn how to overcome it. Yeah, how
Mm.
to correct the errors. Yeah. So another key benefit I would say is that it actually opens up more opportunities for them in terms of for the future, because by learning coding, right, they are also
Mm,
exposed to other aspects of technology. Okay, for
okay.
example, artificial intelligence. This is really
Mm,
a huge thing, because you're trying to make the machine think and behave like a human being. Yeah,
yeah,
like the
true,
robots.
true.
Yeah.
Mm.
So with these skills, right, it actually opens up. Yeah, they learn about other technologies. Okay, and then that opens up more opportunities in terms of their job. Yeah, job in the future. Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who just joined in, okay, welcome to the Ask YP Live Now show. And this is a show, focusing on positive living, living with passion, able to spend quality times with your loved ones and making the world a better place. And we have with us tonight, Dr. Christine Lee, okay, who is a Pythonista. And a Pythonista is somebody who is passionate about programming in what language? Using the
Python.
Python, right?
Yes.
And she just shared, okay, just do a quick summary. And she just shared that, learning programming from a young age help young children achieve three things. Okay, so for those who are listening in, can you remember what those three things are? Number one, problem solving skills. Number two, perseverance. And number three, what's number three? Can you just type in the chat box? Okay, if you can, if you're listening in, you can just type it in the comments. Okay. So what's number three? So Dr. Christine, can you tell us, for those of us who join in, what's the third one?
The third one is that it strengthens their understanding in other aspects of technology. For example, in artificial intelligence, yeah, and in which is related to robotics, right? Where we try to make the machine think and behave like a human being. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that will
Okay.
definitely enhance their job opportunities in the future.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we noticed we got a bit of people coming in to spam. So thank you so much, for spamming us. And then don't worry, this is positive living. We just live with it. Okay. So, Dr. Christine, what's the easiest way to get into programming? Yeah.
All right, I will actually recommend the kids, right, to start with what you call visual programming or
Mm-hmm.
block-based programming. Because nowadays, right, I notice that kids, right, they learn well when it comes to visual learning. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
by like, watching videos or through um, images. Yeah, I mean videos
Mm-hmm.
and images as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that is what actually one of the easiest way to start them off. Yeah, so that they are more motivated when they can
Uh-huh.
see what's going on in the program. Yeah, and they can create things like animated stories. Yeah, always simple games as well. Yeah, so start with something that is visual, right, and
Okay.
then not something that like too heavy. I would say like those where you have to type a lot of words. Yeah, start with those block based programming.
Okay, so so you're talking about young people learning, being able to learn programming. What about old people like me? Or those,
Oh,
in their mid 50s. Yeah,
YP, definitely you can learn as well. It's lifelong learning, right?
yeah. Would I be slower? Would I be faster?
Oh, well, maybe using Python, it could be faster, right, as compared to other programming languages. Yeah.
Hmm. I remember those days. What do you call that? When I was in university, so I'm a civil engineer by training. So yeah, won't tell you how many years ago, but about, or maybe I should, about what 40, no, is it 40? Almost 40. Yeah, it should be 40 years ago, where I
Wow.
was, studying engineering, and we had to learn a little bit of programming. And that time, what was the language? Fortran or something like that.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what engineers use.
yeah, you may even, you may not even have heard of it. Okay, so there's during all this, or there was really stressful trying to look at codes. Yeah, but nowadays everything is so much more user friendly. They got easier
Yep.
interfaces, isn't it? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So you're talking about programming for children. Are there any negative effects? Sometimes people say, "Ah, yeah, why we stress our children so much? Why we teach them so much when they're young? Let them go and play lah." Some of the people have got this type of thought. So, what are your thoughts about it? Are there any
Um,
negative effects?
yeah, I would not say that we are stressing them out by teaching coding. So what we need to do, right, is actually make coding fun for them. So
Mm,
inspire them to be creative. So if they're doing something that they enjoy, right? So I don't think it's stressful to them, you know.
Mhm.
So the kids in my current coding class, right? They actually love to test out different things. So I do
Okay.
give them the freedom to explore. So I will,
Mm.
start with a coding project with basic functions. Then after that, I'll ask them to enhance the code with their own ideas. Yeah, so it
Oh,
becomes their
okay.
own game, for example. Yeah, their own
Mm.
application. So actually, interestingly, right, one parent did ask, what if it becomes an addiction?
Okay.
you know so well, to me, it's something good because they are learning, instead of just playing computer games lah, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, for me, like, I would want my children to actually be a digital maker rather than just a digital user. Yeah.
Mm. Mm. So from a consumer, they become a creator, isn't it? That's amazing, isn't
Yes,
it? Yeah.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, I'm just a bit curious. So you got these young 9, 10, 11 years old people coming to learn Python programming and so on. And you see, you teach them, you said visual, teach them how to develop games. Can you give an example of some of the programming that they learn? So what do they actually come up with? Okay. Are you
All
able to
right.
describe that? Yeah.
Yes, like for example, okay, let me share with you about this block-based programming or visual-based programming, which is
Mm.
it's called Scratch. Okay, this is actually available online. It's free, so kids, right, can actually use this to create animated stories and also
Mm-hmm.
simple games. Okay, so Lego, right, where we join the Lego pieces to create an object. Okay, so it's very
Mm-hmm.
similar to that concept. So the code, right, are actually blocks, different blocks. So they will
Okay.
join all these blocks together to create a game, for example. Yeah. And how they apply creativity is that they will add, maybe try with different colors, try with
Okay.
different images. Yeah. And then and they can try with even different background, for example. Yeah. So that's how they
Wow.
can develop the creativity in that
Mm-hmm.
coding process. Yeah.
So typically, you said you run classes for your for young children. How long does your class last?
So it's about 1 hour, yeah, for one
Okay.
class. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any
So
breaks in between?
no breaks in between for that 1 hour.
One
Yeah.
hour is pretty short, right? And is it done
Yes.
online?
Currently it's physical. Yeah.
Okay.
Face to face. Yeah.
So what does a child need to do to come and attend your class? Okay.
All right. So definitely they will have their laptop with them, and all they need is just the internet connection.
Mm,
Because I really want to make this learning simple also for the students, so that they don't
mm,
need to do any like installation of software, because
okay.
sometimes that can demotivate, that they have to like install so many things, in order to
Mm,
start off that coding journey. So basically they just need the browser. Yeah, they just go to the tool online and then they can start coding from there.
okay. And is there any specifications to the laptop that they got to bring, or any laptop would do?
I think as long as they can run the internet, yeah, they can do. Yeah, so far, there are no issues, yeah, with that. And then
Mm-hmm.
and they will learn, of course, how they can actually save their work, and they can even share their projects also with their friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What do you mean? What means share? What do you mean share?
So like Scratch, right? It's like you can there's a community there where you can share your projects to the people in the community, and then they
Mm-hmm.
can also give you comments on that project.
Mm,
And one of the things that I want them to do is that at the end of the term, right? They can actually showcase their work to their friends and to their family, right? And then
okay.
play each other's game, you know.
Wow.
As
Mm,
well. Yeah, so they can share, they can collaborate as well in that
mm,
during that session. So coding is not just individual. Yeah, but
mm.
then it can also promote things like teamwork, yeah, in them.
Okay. So do you organize, like competition like that, amongst or between your students?
Not at the moment, but that is a good idea. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so because at the moment, yeah, what I have in mind is that they will actually showcase their work at the end of the
Okay.
term. Yeah, so
Mm.
that the parents, the
Mm.
friends know what they are learning. Yeah,
Mm.
and hope to inspire more as well through that.
So actually, in the, let's say, in the programming world, I know of course there is the engineering applications and so on. But for young people, when they are starting, are there any like international or global platforms where they can show or demonstrate what they program? Are there competitions? Are there exhibitions, shows, things like that?
Ah, okay. So actually, like for example, Scratch, right? They do have a community, yeah, where
Mm-hmm.
they can share their projects online. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's one platform. In terms of competition, right? So they are, I mean, like schools, right? They can actually organize like such competitions. Yeah, let's say within their schools, and
Mm-hmm.
because like coding, right? It's not just about creating, let's say, a desktop app. It could be a website. Yeah,
Mm.
so there are schools, right? They have like a competition among their students to create different websites. So that is also part of coding.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yes.
I remember those days when you got to design, when you design a website, you got to remember, what's that? What they call it? The HTML codes and so on, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually a
What?
scripting. Yeah, it's another form of coding, and then
Mm-hmm.
so like if they learn something like Python, right? We call it they can do more customization to
Mm-hmm.
their code. Yeah, and then there's
Mm-hmm.
more interactions lah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, when you talk about HTML, it's like it's part of the user interface of your website. So
Okay.
in programming terms, right, we call it the front end, right? The
Okay.
front end, what you see, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the colors, the icons that you have. Whereas Python, right, is something at the back end where it
Okay.
can do certain processing. Yeah,
Okay.
for example, analyzing data,
Okay.
like huge amount of data, right? So it can recognize things like pattern also. If let's say you want to do things like data analytics, right? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so Python can actually do that. Yeah,
Oh,
to
okay.
help to analyze big data.
So what are the what do you call that? What are the commercial? I use the word now, commercial applications of Python programming.
In terms of commercial, oh, okay, maybe I can share something that my company is actually developing. Yeah,
Okay, sure.
so we have a project that's developed using Python. It's
Okay.
a video converter. Yeah, we call it Amplify. So what it does
Okay.
is, with just one single video, we can cover it to multiple dimensions. So like on Instagram, it's a square, right?
Okay.
And then if it's on YouTube, you have a landscape kind of
Yeah.
format. Okay, and then if
Uh-huh.
it's a TikTok video, it's like portrait. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So in with our application, right? So just one video, we can convert to multiple dimensions, and then you can post it in all the different social media, the main ones like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Yeah. So
So and
Python is very
TikTok too, isn't it?
strong. Yeah. Yes. Eventually, we will also
Oh, okay.
link to more social media platforms.
Mm.
Yeah. So
So
Python,
is
right,
it
is chosen
mm,
because Python is strong in terms of the video processing. Lah.
okay?
Yeah.
So was that the amplifier you mentioned? Is it just a video converter or is also a video editor and so on?
Okay, so eventually, actually, we can also extract images from it, right, and also video highlights from the
Mm-hmm.
single video. So that means from one single video, right, you can have different medium. So we have
Okay.
the audio as well. We can do transcription with it, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and also of course different images. So with the images that we extracted from the video, then we can post it to different social media platforms.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm now starting to get a bigger picture. So like you said, Python programming. So it's just not a simple program for kids to play with, isn't it? Because it's got
Oh no.
a bigger application. So from
Yes.
very young, it just, I suppose, if you think about school, we learn arithmetic. 1 plus 1 is 2.
Yep.
In school, and then slowly as you develop, you go to secondary school, college, then finally you gotta learn like calculus and more complicated
Yes.
thing with arithmetic, as being the foundation. So am I describing this correctly? So from very young age, you're learning skills that you can just build
Yes.
on in future. It can be, yeah, it could
Yeah,
be your
because
career, could be your pastime. Yeah.
yeah, I agree with what you say. It's like there are different levels, even in programming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So of course you always start from the really basic, yeah, the basic, the fundamentals, and then slowly you build up on your knowledge. Yeah, I think it's just like learning any languages also. Yeah, when we talk about
Mm.
computer programming language, it's a language, right, that we
Mm-hmm.
communicate with the machine. So you have
Okay.
to learn the different the rules, right, the syntax, right, of that language as well. So then you have to go through different levels, in terms of the
Mm.
knowledge.
Okay. Okay, I just want to switch the topic slightly a bit to a different area, right?
Sure.
Nowadays a lot of people are talking about NFTs and talking about the metaverse and so on. So can you just give us a bit more insight into what these two things mean?
Oh yes, yeah, it's very interesting to share on this. I believe that not everyone knows what NFT or metaverse are. So let me briefly explain about NFT. So it stands for non-fungible token. So it's basically a digital asset. All right, and then it can be let's say an image, right? It can be a video, an art piece, okay, or some these items from the game as well, right? And then this particular asset, right, is something you can say that they are collectibles in the internet, okay,
Mm,
and they have an authentic certificate, so that means with that certificate, right, it's like you have the authority over the asset that you bought.
okay.
So there are three main characteristics there. So it's a digital asset. It's something that is unique, right? So you cannot replace it, or yeah, cannot change it. And then you can buy and sell them, right, using the cryptocurrencies. Okay, for example, Bitcoin. Okay,
Okay.
um, and I'm not sure whether you have heard of this story of this 12-year-old boy. He actually earned like more than about 300,000 pounds,
Woohoo.
through selling his NFT, and it's just images of whale, that the big, the big
Yeah.
fish, the whale, yeah. And
Uh-huh.
this boy, actually, what I found is that he started coding when he was 5 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. And then I think every day, right, he spent like maybe 20 to 30 minutes on coding. Yeah, and then eventually create his own NFT. Yeah, and sell them at this, and earn like almost 300,000 pounds. Yeah, I think this was last year. Just imagine a 12-year old, right? And
200,000. Wow. Wow.
pounds, yes.
Um,
I believe it's more than that now.
mm,
Yeah, and yeah, so this is a really I would say a really success stories for for this boy in NFT. Yes, just now you mentioned about the term metaverse, right?
mhm.
Later I'm going to share about the relationship between NFT and metaverse as well. So metaverse, right, is actually a network of 3D virtual worlds, right?
Mhm.
And the focus, right, is about social connection using these two key technologies. Okay, one is the virtual, the we call it virtual reality technology. Okay, and another one is called augmented reality. Right.
Mhm.
So these are very, I mean, very big terms.
Big words.
Yeah, big words. So when we use the term virtual reality, right? We have this special gadget that we wear, right? So once
Mhm.
you like, you put it on, and then you like being transported to a different world already, right? A
Mhm.
virtual world where you can interact with that with different objects in the world, or even
Mhm.
with virtual people in the world as well. Yeah, so that's a virtual reality. Whereas in augmented reality, right? So you are in the real world, but then there are objects in that real world that you can interact with, right? One example, right? Have you heard of this game called Pokemon Go?
Yes.
Where you can catch these monsters, these Pokemons in the real world, right, in the
Mm-hmm.
physical world. So I can be at my home and catching these Pokemons as well. Yeah, so that is like an example of an augmented reality lah, AR. Okay,
Okay.
so imagine a metaverse, right? It's a combination of this, right, of the virtual reality and also the augmented reality. And oh yes, do you know why Facebook changed the name to Meta?
Is it
Do
because of
you know why?
metaverse?
Yes, yes, yeah. So they have this vision to bring metaverse to life. This is a really
Mm-hmm.
really huge vision of Facebook. So they changed their name to reflect their commitment to this future. So you have a
Mm-hmm.
3D spaces in the metaverse where we can socialize, right? We can learn, we can collaborate. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
imagine you are living in a world that you have created, and then you can invite your friends, right, your family members to join you in that world. So this is
Mm-hmm.
something really massive lah, something really huge that Facebook is starting, or you can say it has started. So in fact, they are hiring like 10,000 developers,
Wow.
for this project, and they
Mm-hmm.
plan to roll out some products by 2023. And so
It's only next
that
year.
means, yeah, and I think by 2030, right, they will have a fully function metaverse, yeah, developed by then. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really that means there'll be new businesses, there'll be new jobs, they'll be created. And this is also
Mm-hmm.
something I would say very significant for our children okay,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, it's something it's going to be something really huge, something really massive. So we should start preparing our children for that. Yeah, and then it's by equipping them with the
Mm-hmm.
relevant skills yeah. And
So actually, there's such a big trend happening. If they don't learn how to, get involved into the NFTs, metaverse programming, our children could be left behind, isn't it?
yes, that means there'll be less opportunities for them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then some, it's like yeah, I can say it like in a sense like they get left behind. All right. And of course we want them to explore, right? Explore more, at the same time have more opportunities. Because
Mm-hmm.
now with this metaverse, definitely there'll be new jobs created, yeah, new businesses coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do you think this NFT is related to metaverse? The next question.
No, yeah. So I better ask you. So how are they related?
And so NFT is a digital asset, right? Okay. So
Uh-huh.
imagine in this metaverse, you have assets like images, you have different objects in it. And imagine now you have a land, this land in the metaverse, and you can actually purchase this land, right? That means you can own a piece of land in this virtual world, and then you have a certificate over that land, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine, like, because right now, okay, physically we can imagine that we buy this piece of land, all right, we get
Okay.
a certificate for it, but now you transfer it into a virtual environment, the metaverse, right? So that means you can actually own a piece of land or a digital asset in that metaverse. So this is how
Okay.
it's related. Yeah. So you can imagine that that land is an NFT, okay,
Okay.
in that metaverse. So that means you, as a user, right, when we own that NFT, that means we have complete control over it, right, in terms of we can sell it, okay, and then of course we can also purchase other NFTs, right, or other digital
Mhm.
assets in that metaverse. And you can create your own NFT even through coding as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So that is another huge area that kids can actually look into. Not just creating games or applications, but they can code their own NFT and then sell them as well.
You got me interested, especially when you say the 300,000 pounds. So, I want the listeners all and then, 300 pounds, in Malaysia is times what now? Pounds to
Wow.
ringgit.
Is it
times 5
6 or 7
6 or
or 5? Yeah, probably
oh.
5 or 6. I can't
So
recall.
let's use 5. If 5 is already 1.5 million, isn't it? If 6 is 1.8 million. Wow, for
Yeah.
12-year-old. I want to be the parent.
Yes, to manage the funds.
Yeah. So, Dr. Christine, we're coming to the end of the 30 minutes because it's supposed to be a 30 to 40-minute show. So, before we end, can you just go and share with the parents who are listening? Okay, what is your advice to parents now in the new digital age? What would be your advice to parents? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I have just one key advice is to inspire your children to learn coding, not just telling them that they must learn this skill. So, share with them what they can create. For example, a game, a website, right? Images, okay? That means images that they can transform it into an NFT that they can even sell it in the future. So, for example, you can tell them, wouldn't it be great, right? You can actually create and play your own game instead of other people's game, right?
Mm,
So
mm,
preteens can actually start learning by using like Scratch programming as an example, which is block based, visual based. So that is free and available online. And yeah, from there they can create animated stories or even NFT as well. Using
okay.
that software. And then teenagers, right? They can actually start to use like Python, right? Which is because I've taught programming like for more than 27 years. And Python, right, is really one of the easiest programming language to learn. That's why kids can start learning Python. Yeah. And they can use it to create images. I've seen people, right, they actually use Python to create NFTs. Yeah. And with that start, right, using animation images, that will develop the interest in them, yeah, to want to find out more, right? And yeah, then after that they can use Python to create simple applications, whether it's on the desktop or on the for
Mm.
the internet. So really, Python is absolutely I would say for modern programmers, okay, especially those who are interested in building virtual reality, augmented reality applications, yeah, to build metaverse, right? So remember, to inspire them, lah. Yeah, inspire our children. Yeah.
So not only you're telling parents to inspire children, I'm also getting myself inspired. So no wonder you're called a Pythonista. You're so passionate about Python programming. So maybe I should go knocking on your door and learn Python to create my own NFTs.
Yes, you're welcome to do that.
So how will people get in touch with you, or is there anywhere they can go to find out more about what you do or your
Oh yes,
programs?
yeah, I do have a link that I can share. So with that link, right, you can actually watch a video to kickstart your programming journey. So
Okay.
it's just, I think, less than 5 minutes, you can create your first program in Python, right?
Wow, less than 5 minutes. Okay, so
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, this is your first chance to learn a little bit about Python programming, and maybe you are on the way to become a NFT millionaire, isn't it? Woohoo!
Yes, yes.
So thank you so much, Dr. Christine. Don't run away. Just stay with us, okay? Yeah, I just want to do a little bit of announcement. So I'm sure that all of you enjoyed, this week's program with Dr. Christine talking about, why our young children should be learning programming, right? So remember, in the Ask YP live show, Ask YP now live show, okay? We are focusing on positive living, living with
Yes.
passion, and you're going to be learning about things that will make your life better and also allow you to be able to lead the more quality time with your loved ones and also make the world a better place, right? So, coming up next week, we've got another speaker coming up. And next week, we're going to have Yen, okay? So Yen is a specialist, okay? And she's going to show you or share with you how to birth a successful child. Yen is going to tell you that, what we normally think, the way baby come out screaming and so on, that's not the best way for a baby to come out. She's going to share how parents, okay, can actually get ready so that when the birthing process comes, everybody is peaceful, is calm, is relaxing, and the baby knows how to come out on its own. believe it or
Wow.
not. Okay, so so come back next week, same time, same place. It's gonna be at 7 p.m. Singapore. So the Ask YP Now live show is always on at 7 p.m. Singapore time every Thursday. So next week is on the how to birth a successful child, right? And for those of you who have been with here this evening, thank you so much. And those who are coming in and watching this a recording, I'm going to give you a present, okay? Right. So what I have here is a book that I've written. It is up on Amazon. You can go to Amazon and buy, but I'm sure all of you want a free copy, right? So this is the link, get hold of this link, go to this link, and you can have a copy of my book, 10 Proven Strategies to Work Less, Earn More. And so this is YP Lai, your Work Less, Earn More expert, wishing you a good night, a great week, and I'm going to see you next week. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, I am going to say bye-bye for now, and Christine, let's wave them bye-bye, okay? Right, and
Bye.
then
Thank
just
you.
going to see you next week. Yeah, thank you so much again, Dr. Christine. Thank you. Yeah, just hang around.